Another sunset journey in the car. So there's quite a few things to talk about, and I can't remember them all probably, but I'm going to try. There are riots in Palestine after the Kushner / Trump and Netanyahu plan, peace plan, peace. Yeah, that's working out. Because there were no Palestinians in on the peace plan. There were no Palestinians invited to the unveiling of the peace plan. It's just basically an announcement that they're taking the land from Palestine, and if Palestinians can just, live up to the criteria that they've set forth for the next 4 years, then maybe they can start on a plan towards peace and towards their own land, which, yeah. The silver lining there is that the audacity is so absurd that it's no longer a matter of, pretending that there's just an even battle going on between Palestine and Israel. It's now very clear who's doing what to whom. So I'm really hoping that apathy subsides and that people give a shit and speak up. So that happened. And then in Syria, they have made huge advances into Idlib and have all but collapsed the rebels. But there are complications because the rebels, the terrorists, are in bed with Turkey, and that's putting it really generously. Turkey is supplying these rebels and terrorists and pretending that it's not them. So what's happening now is you got Russia and Syria attacking these terrorists in Idlib, and it's Turkey's fighters, but Turkey's not admitting that, but Turkey's starting to be upset about it, for lack of better words. And they've said that they're hoping that Russia lets them know when they're going to attack, or, it's the proxy army thing isn't working out too well because they have to rid the Idlib province of terrorists, or else they will never finish this war. So they're going for the jugular and trying to finish it up. And Turkey and the U.S. want to keep their foothold in Syria. It remains to be seen what the U.S. is going to do about all of that, because they've been eerily silent about it in the last few days, as the defenses are crumbling for the alleged rebels. So that kind of puts the potential, once again, like I spoke of before, of confrontation directly between Russia and Turkey. Turkey being a NATO ally, who we are bound to defend, even though we act like we were at odds with them recently. I don't think we ever were. That puts us on a potential path towards war with Russia. And that potential is far too large for my comfort. We're already at a proxy war with Russia. I mean, there's no question. We're in a proxy war, but Iran, Russia, and Syria are all together in defending Syria. So there's that, which is partly why we have a problem with Iran, but mostly it's because Israel doesn't like Iran. And that's right, because Iran needs to act like a normal country. That's the one. And they need to stop doing all these horrible things that they're doing that they can't name when they're accusing them of doing these things. I don't know why people don't see through it. Like, it's really, really transparent, and I can't believe that it's not talked about more in the mainstream media, well, I can believe it. But the coronavirus. The coronavirus, according to the WHO, they have now officially announced a world health emergency, the highest alert that they have to issue regarding diseases like this. So they had met today, and they did end up issuing that. And basically what that means is that all the countries they're trying to coordinate with them to have an international effort to try to contain the virus. Last time they mentioned that I could find, the virus had a 5%, 3 to 5% mortality rate. So that's 1 in 20 people who gets it dies. Sounds like not that bad in a way, but then you do the math and it's like, it's something like, 10 million people dying in the US if everybody got it. 10 or 17. It might be 17 million, but that's if everybody contracted it. But the problem with this isn't its lethality. It's contagious. It's so unbelievably contagious. People are wearing goggles to try and make sure that nothing gets in their eyes. And people who they have gone through some really extreme efforts to make sure that they didn't get into Tibet. They had all of the everything in place to screen, and still it got into Tibet. So whatever they're using to stop the spread of the virus is apparently not working. And there, of course, is no cure and there's no treatment yet. So those things are really concerning because, it may not have a huge lethality rate like SARS did. Like SARS had like a 30%, but it was not nearly as contagious as this, and therefore it was able to be contained. This, not so much, and God forbid if it actually morphs into something more lethal, then we're looking at a serious plague. I'm not trying to be, alarmist about this because I can be, but I think it's a good thing to get medical masks because they're out of stock everywhere. They're hard to find now. And that's only going to get more difficult. I found them online, but none of the Amazon Prime carried it. So I looked at the other options, and they're all from China. Something tells me they won't be in stock once I ordered. If I wanted to wait 2 or 3 weeks for masks from China, which kind of almost defeats the purpose. I'm sure that they would be okay, but I don't want to wait, and there's just something wrong with that. Ordering from where the source of the virus is. The source of the virus, that's a whole other conversation or 3. More on that at a different day. Take care, stay safe, and hand sanitizer. Take care.